Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. We are Central Coast Roofing. We are thankful for the opportunity to come here and present our 4 Points Sheraton Hotel proposal. We've been in the industry for 46 years, and we want to thank you for having us here. We hope you see we're the best contractor for this job, as we have a superior quality at a competitive cost, and we've done multiple projects in this area with tough site logistics, such as the one we have here today. Now I'd like to talk about our presentation overview, which is going to begin with our introduction, then our safety plan, our estimate, our logistics and phasing, schedule, QA/QC, and lastly leave some time for questions. At this point, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our team, giving a chance.
Hi everybody, I'm Chance Giesker. I'm a project engineer, and for this project, I compiled our estimate under the supervision of our chief estimator, Nick Reeves.
Hi, I'm Claire Peters. I'm the safety executive on this project, and I work together with Steven to put together a comprehensive safety plan.
My name is Steven Zhang. I'm the superintendent of this project. I will be supervising all work as well as making sure this project is on schedule.
My name is David Horst. I'm a senior project manager, and I will be making sure that we have direct communication and we keep all costs within budget.
So at Central Coast Roofing, we have 3 main locations: San Luis Obispo, California, Denver, Colorado, as well as Houston, Texas. We also have satellite offices in New Orleans here, and this is where our team will be operating out of. Being in the same city, this allows us to provide you guys a 24/7 telephone and email support. So whenever there is an emergency issue, a Central Coast Roofing employee will be on site to resolve those issues within 24 hours. Moving on to our previous similar projects, so on our very far left, we have the Riverside Hotel. This one's located in downtown Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What's unique about this project, and very similar to the 4 Point, is the amount of mechanical penetrations as we can see. As well as its differing roof elevations. The second project here, Reinhardt Elementary School, located in Dallas, Texas. What's unique about this project was that this actually has a very similar system, the same single-ply TPO membrane that our system has. As well, students were actually occupied in this school while construction was going on. And lastly, our third project here, the Jesuit High School, located here in New Orleans. This shares a lot of similarity with the 4 Point due to on the same location. It familiarizes us with the weather. It has a very similar size as the 4 Point. And again, with the Reinhardt Elementary School, the students were in class while roofing was going on. So at Central Coast Roofing, we are centered around 4 core values: safety, by training all employees to highest safety practices possible so that they can go home to their families every single night. Innovation, by implementing modern technology and softwares so that one, we can efficiently monitor the project, as well as 2, making sure that all our stakeholders have the same information through our software using Procore. And quality, by making sure that we meet contract specifications as well as owner expectations the first time. And integrity, having a team that has a strong work ethic, being responsible for their independent tasks, as well at the same time being respectful to all employees and stakeholders on the project.
So the project that we're here today presenting on is the 4 Points Sheraton Hotel. We're super excited to have this opportunity, and we want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the way that we plan to deliver excellence through this project. As we go through the presentation, we talk about the unique challenges that this project presents and how we plan to address each of those, and how we plan to deliver excellence through our leading safety program, our superior quality, our competitive cost, and our project support that we'll provide to you during the course of construction and beyond.
At Central Coast Roofing, safety is built into every facet of our business. We're always striving for the best in safety, and our records reflect that. Our total recordable incident rate is a point below the industry standard at 2.5, and our experience modification rate is considered excellent at 0.57%. We credit these great scores to a great company culture. We're really centered around safety because at the end of the day, everyone's trying to get home safe. That's our #1 priority. Everyone on site is responsible for everyone's safety, and everyone's looking out for each other, and we attribute our low employee turnover rate to this. We also meet often to talk about safety through our safety breakfast, our yearly CCR Safety Week, and through our weekly toolbox talks. There we go. We're always investing in our people and our technology, and some of the newest things that you'll see on our sites are are our weather monitoring stations and our biometric wearables. Our weather monitoring stations give us the ability to know the temperature, the wind speed, and the humidity on a roof at any given time and relay that information to our safety staff so they can react accordingly. We use Soul Power Smart Boots, which have the ability to contact safety staff immediately in the case of a fall and can also help track employees in the case of emergency evacuation. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in the roofing industry. So we need to have a really strong safety plan for this site. This roof is going to be a 100% tie-off zone. That means that at any given time, anyone on the roof needs to be in a full harness, lanyard, and tied to an anchor. We use a couple of different anchoring systems, but the most popular one that we like the most are rolling roof systems. So what this means is that at any given time, we have up to 5 roofers on fall arrest on these rolling carts. These rolling carts are also pretty handy because we can have a water jug, a safety kit, and fire extinguishers on these. We're going to use this in conjunction to a warning line system, as OSHA specifies, which means that there's going to be a warning line 6 feet away from the roof's edge just to help warn our roofers when they're especially in the danger zone. The safety of all 4 Point Sheraton hotel staff and guests is also imperative to Central Coast Roofing, and for that reason, in addition to our walk-through scaffolds, we're going to have a debris net that extends in the direction of the pool, just to make sure that no construction debris can make its way down. In the case of emergency, this is going to be our evacuation plan. Employees are going to make their way down the stair tower, through the parking garage, and to our mustering point over there.
And now we can talk about our estimate. Our estimate was compiled item by item, detail by detail, and we estimate that approximately 177 squares of Firestone 80 mil ultraply will be required to complete this job, and 701 man days will be required up there due to the site conditions, all of the roofing penetrations, everything that's going on up there. And all those together make up about 60% of our estimate. And then our general conditions include a 60-ton crane, which we're going to use to hoist all of our material up to the roof to our laydown area, as well as scaffolding, dumpster, a 20-year manufacturer's warranty, tax. Our OH&P actually includes the cost of our supervision, as well as our overhead and profit. And we have 3 allowances built into our base bid, one being $5,000 for the repair of existing concrete once we tear off all of the old roof. Safety, $5,000 for that debris net that Claire mentioned over the pool, and a 5-year preventative maintenance agreement. We have street permits and building permits built into our base bid, and a 1% bid bond on top of everything, for a total of $737,712. And this cost can be reduced. At Central Coast Roofing, we take value engineering very seriously. We want to give you the best quality roof at the lowest possible cost, and there are ways to do this. And I'd like to really focus on option number 1 first and foremost, because that's where we're really going to see the most savings. And option number 1 is to substitute the same type of debris net that we're putting over the pool for the walk-through scaffolding on the ground level. This is a system that we've used in the city of New Orleans before. It's an engineered system. The city approves of it. We actually prefer it because it upholds our higher safety standard by stopping debris before it can reach the street level. Then option number 2 would be to take that R20 base of polyiso insulation, reduce it to R17, because the crickets we're going to build up on top of those have an R13 average value from what we've estimated. So then you'll have an R30 average over the entire roof, which will satisfy pretty much any sustainability requirement you'll be looking for. Then option number 3 is to reduce the thickness of that membrane from 80 mil to 60 mil, because the weakness of this membrane isn't going to be in its thickness, it's going to be in the quality of the seams. And our detailed quality control plan is going to ensure that these seams are not a source of leaks. I would like to add that if you would like to keep the 80 mil TPO membrane, Firestone does offer a 30-year warranty for it, and we could add that in for an extra cost of only $500. I believe that really adds a lot of quality to this roof.
So now, as we all know, site logistics are a huge component of choosing the best contractor for this job. So we've taken the time to develop a very comprehensive site logistics plan, which begins with our employee parking at the top level of the parking garage. This allows for a seamless transition of our workers from that parking lot up the roof through the stair towers you can see on the roof there. In addition, we'll have pedestrian protection scaffolding surrounding the building as provided in the plan, and we'll have security fence around that remaining area on the parking garage, as well as the scaffolding we have on the streets, just to prevent any pedestrians that may be on Bourbon Street late at night wanting to climb the scaffolding. In addition, we'll have our rest area and our toilets in that top floor of the parking garage, away from the guest's point of view. And we'll have a dumpster and trash chute on Toulouse Street in the top right, as you can see in green. This dumpster will be found within 2 parking spots on Toulouse Street, and we'll have a trash chute that extends from the roof down to the dumpster, having a fully safe method of getting rid of debris. The dumpster will also be emptied every day in the morning. And lastly, we have a 60-ton mobile crane, as Chance mentioned, on Toulouse Street for the first 5 days that will be hoisting material, which I'll get to in just a moment. And this mobile crane will be accompanied by a full traffic control plan. So looking at our execution plan, we have 3 phases. Our first phase consists of mobilization and safety setup, as well as material hoisting and beginning our re-roof. We've broken this into 2 crews. Crew 1 and Crew 2, both working with an 8-man crew. For the first phase, 1 man from each of those crews will be working on spreading materials as the material is hoisted to the roof. And the material will be laid out in that blue area, as you can see in the bottom right corner. Our second phase, both crews will be working towards that bottom right corner, working on re-roofing the field at a crew rate of 250 square feet per day. Lastly, this is our phase 3. This consists of 15 days, and crew 1 will be doing the remaining area on the field, while crew 2 moves up to doing all of the penthouses. Because there's some more site logistics on the penthouses, they'll be working at a crew rate of 200 square feet per day. So putting this all together, the RFP lists 60 calendar days, which is equivalent to 45 working days, and we have put this in at 44 working days, which allows us 1 day of extra float.
At Central Coast Roofing, we are committed to quality excellence. Our objective is to safely deliver 100% of our construction projects that meet contract specifications, as well as owner expectations the first time and every time. This is done through our unique quality assurance plan, which includes pre-construction services, construction quality services, which talks about our inspection procedure, as well as our project closeout procedure. Moving on to our pre-construction, we're gonna start off with our pre-construction meeting. This will include all our stakeholders, including our Firestone product representative. Here we'll be talking about expectations, goals, issues, safety, and so forth. We also will be implementing our submittal verification, as well as a weekly production meeting, which will include quality management discussions. Moving on to construction, we will have preparatory meetings before every milestone task and inspection, as well as we will be training our employees on quality details during every weekly toolbox talk. And then on this project, we will have 3 dedicated quality assurance personnel on this project, being the project engineer, safety director, as well as me, myself, the superintendent. The role of the quality assurance personnel is to enforce quality practices and survey the job site at the end of each working day for quality. As we know, roofing contributes to less than 10% of a contract's value, yet accounts for 90% of future litigation. And with our unique quality assurance plan, we can mitigate these future liabilities through our inspection procedures by having field checks at the beginning and end of each working day, 3 probe tests throughout the day, and by implementing our thermal drone camera, we can surveil the job site for any potential leaks or issues. We also will be documenting having photo documentation throughout the day, and which all these photos will be turned over to the owner at the end of the project. In the scope of works, this project calls out for a flood test for the final inspection. However, after reading the NRC article, the NRC actually discourages a flood test due to its potential damages on a new roofing system. And for this project itself, we see two reasons. One, a flood test actually puts a live load on the system. And with this historical building being built in 1859, this 163-year-old building, it is unknown what the structural integrity of this building is. And by putting this live load on the building, it can cause great catastrophic failure. And 2, by having multiple mechanical systems, as well as live electrical conduits on the system, putting a flood test will require these systems to be shut off throughout the inspection. And we want this hotel to be operable 100% while we are going through the construction phase. So therefore, we have proposed using a sprinkler test instead, which brings a lot more benefits than its damages. But if the owner does proceed and want to use a sprinkler test, or use a flood test, we will do so. Lastly, moving on to project closeout, we will be submitting all closeout documents in the specifications, which include warranties, operation maintenance manuals, certificates, and as-bills. We also will be providing our 5-year preventative maintenance program, and again, our 24/7 telephone and email support throughout the entire project.
So in conclusion, all of us here at Central Coast Roofing want to again thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to come and present our 4-point Sheraton Hotel proposal. We hope to make this the first project of an ongoing relationship, and at this point, we'd like to open it up to questions if you have them.
Congratulations. Very thorough presentation and nice alternatives that you've presented to us today. The question that I have for you is regarding the hoisting of materials. With the traffic, with the just the popularity of that location, why did you choose the lifting method that you chose, and did you consider any other alternatives, and why did you not choose those?
Yeah, I can talk this one. So, as we all know, we are against a very popular and busy Bourbon Street, and we have Toulouse Street on the other side. We chose to use the 60-ton mobile crane because it fits on Toulouse Street without impeding the major operation that Bourbon Street has going on each day. And so we found it to be the best option to reduce the amount of impact to others, and that it will be accompanied by a full traffic control plan, which we have done in the city before that has worked seamlessly. And we believe that this will be the best opportunity to hoist our material up to the roof as quickly as possible to reduce that impact to our adjacent neighbors as well.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, well done. As you all prepared your proposal, right, your submission, what was the one specific of this project that ended up being the most challenging that you hadn't seen in other projects, and why?
I can answer this one as well. So the site logistics on this project are one of the most tough challenges of this project. We have done the roofs with these kind of penetrations before, so we are used to that. We are also used to the tough site logistics, as that is our expertise. But this is unique because it is against Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street being very popular with many pedestrians. We had to come up with that site logistics that does not impede all of that, as well as it being an active hotel. We wanted to make sure that we held up that hotel guest experience. So we came up with the site logistic plan that allows our workers to go directly from the roof up the spare tower and to their operation to begin their re-roofing, which does not impede upon the guest experience. We also came up with those debris nets, which prevents the guests from having any sort of potential interaction with the roof in case of anything was to fall down.
Thanks, Central Coast. One thing that this ownership group is a little bit concerned about with this project has to do with the adhesives that are specified. I mean, we don't work with them, we don't know much about them, but when we hear the word adhesive, we think of bad smells, we think of all kinds of problems that our guests might experience. So you guys have provided us with a great level of comfort regarding how you guys are going to access the roof, how you're going to get the debris off, how you're going to protect guests and our staff from debris. Should we be concerned about these adhesives? Are there a lot of VOCs with them? Is that going to be a problem that we might have to mitigate? Can you guys talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I can talk about this. So volatile organic compounds are something to be concerned about, but not for this system. All of our materials are actually low VOC. But if you guys want to have a superior level of safety for your guests, we have a very thought out phasing plan. So we would be happy to work with the hotel and work to see if we can maybe shut down some of the HVAC systems that are in the area that we're going to be using at that time.
Great, thank you.
You know what, team, you actually brought some things to the table today that I didn't see in your written proposal. When you gave us these alternatives, I'm going to read you the question just as I've given it to every other team, but you've answered it in part. And I'm gonna give you one extra chance if there's anything else you wanna add. The question I have is, we typically find that design professionals don't give us every benefit that we might consider. You guys gave us several, but the question I ask each team is, can you think of something that would save us money? You've shown us 3. Or can you maybe think of something that would add value, even if it cost us a little bit more? You've already given us those, but you didn't do it in your written proposal, so I didn't see it coming. But can you think of anything else that you might want to give us as an advantage to save money, either when we're investing in it, as you apply the roof, or something at the long end? Maybe put some more money in and it would give us a return. Can you think of anything else? You've done a good job, but anything else?
Thank you. One thing that I actually learned about yesterday, and I feel like would be a really good fit for this job, is a fluid applied system that would go on top of the existing roof. And that would save us the labor required to kind of rip out all of the old roofing. And installation of that fluid applied system by Firestone is about 90 cents on the dollar as compared to a 80 mil ultra ply system.
And you just picked that up yesterday by walking the floor. Thank you very much.
Morning, Central Coast Roofing. My question's a little off than I normally ask during these competitions. But we're all in trying times right now with this COVID-19 and how it's affected our families and our businesses. As a roofing contractor, we had to step our protocol up greatly. Can you share with us what your protocol for COVID-19 is on your job sites?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with this situation changing from month to month, our policy is just to follow all like the CDC guidelines, and we're ready to adapt to those at any time. So at the moment, we know that there is a mask mandate in New Orleans, and we hold our workers to that. When they're indoors, when they're outdoors, there's no need for that. And we have a really strong contact tracing program, as well as all of our roofers know that if they feel sick at any time, with no penalty to them, they're welcome to step off the job and take a rest and make sure that they test negative before they come back onto the site.
Definitely, and to pick up on what Claire was saying, this also goes back to our integrity, having our employees be responsible, but yet respectful to all our workers. And like Claire said, this is no penalty. We want them to get tested, and we want them to notify us with no repercussions at all. Because at the end of the day, we want the safety of our team. We want them to be safe. We want their families to be safe. Yeah.
Will some of these items that could enhance your program include like hand sanitizing stations, hand washing stations, full-time gaiters or masks?
Well, on our site logistics, we have a bathroom area, and we also have a rest area, and so those do have the hand sanitizer stations. We also do checks with temperatures for everyone before they step on site. And if policy requires it, we've gone to full masks, and we'll be happy to do it again.
Thank you.
So I was impressed with your quality assurance plan and your safety plan are both thorough. Your QC inspection process, I think they did good. So back to safety. Safety is just the highest priority on any job. An injury impacts the employee, the project, and the business in many ways, and sometimes for a long time. Eliminating job site injuries will always be a priority forever. So, my question to you is, now that you've had the opportunity to see the job site firsthand, are there any additional safety measures that you may want to proactively add to your plan to ensure that you have no job site injuries?
So when we visited the job site, something that I did notice that they do have railings up on some sides of the building. Even though there are railings, we'd like to stick to our safety plan, just because we don't know what kind of quality they are. And having a system where everyone is tied up on the roof 100% of the time, we feel is the absolute safest, as well as we're on fall restraint instead of fall arrest, which means that we don't give our workers the opportunity to go over the edge. And we find that gives us the safest results.
Okay, thank you.